Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me today for Follow-Up Friday. Today we're going to finish our study of God as the creator of heaven and earth. We've studied the first 24 verses of chapter 1 of Genesis, and we've discovered that God spoke light into existence. He created the sun and the moon and the stars to shine light on the earth and to determine the days and the years and the seasons. He created all the seed-bearing plants, and he created all the animals of their kind and all the birds. And he looked on everything that he had created, and he saw that it was good, but he saved the best for last. In Genesis 1:26-28, it says, God said, "Let us create man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth." So God created man in his image. Male and female he created them, and God blessed them and told them to multiply. In Genesis 1:31 it says that God looked over all that he had created, and he saw that it was good. And that was the evening and morning of the sixth day. Genesis 2:1-3 says, "So creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. On the seventh day, God had finished his work, and he rested from all his work. And he blessed the seventh day and made it holy." Let me turn down this camera and show you how I tried to portray this last bit of God's creation. I decided to use the white cardstock for my journal base again, but this time I decided to use coordinating specialty paper. This paper's from Honeybee Stamps, and I really liked it. I used 3 pieces to highlight the page, and I used a stamp that shows a male and female running. And on the back side, I put the definition of creator, which is the maker of heaven and earth. And then I also put the scripture Genesis 1:26-28 that says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth." I really like how it turned out, don't you? Well, let me show you how I turned the journal pages into cards of encouragement. I used the same picture from the first one and the same outline for the second one, but I used the same coordinating papers, but I used a different image, bikers this time. But I used the same scripture inside. Jeremiah 32:17. It says, "O sovereign Lord, you made the heavens and the earth by your strong hand and powerful arm. Nothing is too hard for you." I thought that would be encouraging for someone receiving this card, don't you? Well, my friends, God is the creator. And are you wondering how that could help you in your circumstances? God is big, yet he knows you and he loves you. He knows what you're going through right now. I'd like to share with you the words of David, the shepherd boy who became the greatest king of Israel. He wrote Psalm 139. I'm going to paraphrase some of it for you, but you can sure Google Psalm 139 and either the King James Version or New Living Translation. Read it and be amazed. David starts Psalm 139:1 with, "O Lord, you have examined my heart and know everything about me." He says that God knows when he's standing up and sitting down. He knows his thoughts. And David says that there isn't one word on his tongue that God hasn't known he would say. In verse 7, David says, "I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence." And then David goes on to list the whole bunch of places that he would like to go. And yet, God would know where he was. In verse 10, David says, "Even there your hand will guide me, and your strength will support me." This knowledge amazed David. It amazes me every time I read it. You and I are unique, my friends. Verse 14 of Psalm 139 says that we're wonderfully complex. God created you to know him. Last week we read John 14:6, which Jesus told his followers, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No man comes to the Father except through me." Jesus told his followers that he came so that they would know God. Keep asking, friends. Keep seeking truth. Keep knocking on the door, because the Bible assures us that if we seek God with our whole heart and our whole soul, he will be found. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button so you'll be notified when we upload another video. Next week, we're going to dig deeper into who God is. See you then. Thanks for joining me today.